Are you tired of not achieving your goals? Do you have those situations where every single year you set up new goals, New Year's resolutions, and you're kind of used to the idea that they will not work out, right? So here's the thing. What is the difference between a broken promise and a New Year's resolution? Well, roughly 10 days, maybe 15, maybe a month. But this is usually how it goes, right? We set New Year's resolutions and we don't follow through. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the biggest mistakes that you have to avoid right now in order to achieve your goals. And I'm going to give you a process that will help you to create an incredible vision and break it down into an intelligent action plan that you can start implementing right away to build the life of your dreams. And by the way, this comes from a guy who grew up in post-communist Poland, limiting beliefs, anxiety issues, no money, didn't even speak English. And then I managed to bootstrap myself to British university, worked for companies like Goldman Sachs and Allianz just to realize that it was someone else's dream. And then eventually pursued my dream of building my business, traveling to almost 100 different countries around the world, literally living the life I've always wanted to live. So I do not know everything. I do not claim to know everything, but what I'm going to share with you are the things that work for me and for 500,000 other people that I teach in my online courses. So I hope that you are excited, and let's get into it. Okay, issue number one, anticipating failure. As I mentioned, oftentimes we set goals, we pull them out of the thin air, right? You're hangover, you just had a bunch of champagne the last night, and you wake up on the 1st of January and whoa, okay, let me set some goals. So again, pulling them out of the thin air, and we anticipate failure. Deep inside, we don't believe that we're gonna accomplish those goals. And this is a problem because what happens is if you set goals that you don't believe you can accomplish, and then you fail at them, and then you do it over and over again, and next year you repeat the same cycle, you stop trusting yourself. You stop believing yourself, and guess what? It destroys your confidence. It completely destroys your confidence. So tip number one, make sure that you set goals that you actually commit to. Make them real. Real commitment. Burning the bridges, burning the boats. Once you set a goal, become obsessed about accomplishing it. Mistake number two, not being specific enough and not having a deadline. Now, if you come up to me and you say, hey man, I want to make more money. I want to be more healthy. Well, I'll give you $1 or maybe $100. Are you okay with that? Are you satisfied? You want to be more healthy. Here is a salad, right? It doesn't work like this. You have to be specific. You have to figure out exactly what you want and by when you want it. And by the way, throughout the process, you may change things a little bit. You may modify them. I mean, life happens, right? We change how we view reality. Maybe at some point you decide, oh, I thought I wanted to go there, but I want to go maybe a little bit here, right? But you have to be specific and you have to set deadlines. If you want to make more money, you have to figure out how much money do you want to make? Because only that will allow you to then reverse engineer the process that's going to get you there. If you want to make extra $5,000 per month, well, now you can figure out, okay, well, how could I make it happen? How much money do I have to make each day? How many cold calls do I have to make? Or how many, whatever it is that you're selling, I have to sell every week and every month to make it happen. You can reverse engineer to figure out what are the exact steps that you have to take. And now, rather than engaging in this wishful thinking, you actually break things down into tangible steps that will get you closer to that goal. Mistake number three, hoping big without changing the daily habits. And listen, it's all about habits. When you set goals, when you create a compelling vision, that serves as a northern star for where you want to go. But at the same time, you have to create daily habits. If you just keep hoping, yes, I want to make more money. I want to make this much or that much. I want to, create better health for myself. I want to get fitter. Great. But what about the daily habits? What will you be doing every single day? What will you be grinding on? And this is so important because a lot of us, we got stuck in this, oh, I just have to think big. Oh, I just have to close my eyes and visualize and the law of attraction is going to happen and the fancy car will just appear and the six-pack is going to appear. But the reality is that no, you got to bust your ass every day, but you have to do it in the right way. You're not just busting your ass in a generic way. No, you have to figure out where you want to be so we can figure out the exact plan of action. Okay, well, if I want to be there, then these are the habits that I have to develop and these are the habits I have to destroy. And then you figure it out and you take action on a daily basis, on a micro scale. If you want to improve on the macro scale, you have to first take care of the micro scale. So don't forget, about the daily habits. Literally, that's everything. And some people tell me, hey man, but does it really make a difference if I spend 10 minutes a day learning a new language or 20 minutes every morning doing some type of physical exercise? It's not that much. Well, when you look at it in the context of the entire year and then a decade, it is a lot. Like for instance, let's say that you want to learn a new language. What if you just learn 10 words per day? Doesn't sound like a lot. But now multiply it by 365 days. I mean, that changes everything. Mistake number 4, lack of accountability. You have to be accountable, not just to yourself, but also to other people. Because here's the thing, if you are used to the idea of not accomplishing your goals, if you anticipate failure, you may say, well, I'm accountable to myself, but honestly, you don't actually respect yourself enough to be accountable to yourself. I mean, let's face it, a lot of us don't respect ourselves. So it's very easy to give up on yourself, right? You've set up the same goals for decades possibly, right? I want to get fitter, I want this, I want that. And then you don't really make it happen. So you get used to that failure. So you may say to yourself, well, I'm going to be accountable to myself. Doesn't really matter, right? However, if you create accountability with other people, when you announce to the world, to people you respect, hey, by this time, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's what I'm going to do. And if I don't do it, I am a failure because you know what? I'm committing, I'm burning my bridges, and I'm going to make it happen. And these are the actions I'm going to take to get there. That's some pressure. That's some real pressure, right? You may have those moments when you should do something, right? Maybe you wake up in the morning and you should go for a run or you should hit the gym. You don't feel like doing it. Let's sleep in. Maybe let's eat a donut today. Let's just relax. Let's get some ice cream, But then you realize, hold on a second. I committed to people I respect that in the next 3 months, I'm going to lose X amount of kilograms and maybe I'm going to run my first Spartan race, or whatever it is. And now you realize, well, your word is on a line, not just in front of yourself, but in front of other people. So what do? Well, you get your ass off that bed and you go out there and you start killing it. And guess what happens then? As you look in the mirror, you start respecting yourself more because you realize, wow, like I am changing. I am no longer that failure of a person who kept saying, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and never does it. I actually do what I say I'm going to do. So you start trusting yourself. So your confidence soars. And guess what? This is like this positive momentum, positive upward spiral. It keeps fueling you so you take even more action. When you take more action, you get better results. Better results give you more confidence. More confidence fuels you to take more action. And the next thing you know, your life is completely different. Okay? So use the power of accountability. Mistake number 5, not learning from the past in order to build a better future. Now, I'm not saying get stuck in the past. I'm not saying ruminate over the past all the time. What I'm saying is, rather than just looking into the future, take at least a little bit of time to learn from the past, from your successes, but also from your mistakes, right? Dig deep into it and ask yourself, okay, so last year, what are the great things I've done? What are the things that brought me a lot of happiness? What are the things that push me closer to my goals, right? And analyze those positive things. And then on the flip side, analyze the negative things. For example, what are the people that really pulled me down, right? What are the situations that took away my energy? What are the choices I made that really slapped me in the face? And analyze those things. And listen, it may not be easy. Positive stuff, great, that's fun. Analyzing the negative stuff, that can be very challenging. But I gotta tell you, when you do it, when you spend enough time doing it, and by the way, I do it every year. It's so powerful. Actually, I try to do it more than once a year. I feel like the more you do it, the better. And then as you look at it, what happens is you start recognizing your blind spots, your demons, your self-deception mechanisms. You start understanding yourself better. You have more self-awareness. You probably had situations when one of your friends comes up to you and says, hey, I have a relationship issue. What do you think I should do? And to you, it's so obvious. This is what you have to do. But to that person, not so much, right? They lack clarity. They are confused. Or maybe someone else has some type of predicament and you're like, this is exactly what you have to do. Take step X, Y, and Z. But that person has no idea. Like they keep overthinking. They keep pondering. To you, it seems so clear. But guess what? The same thing happens to you. Oftentimes, you may have certain predicament. You may be making certain mistakes in your life. And to you, it's not obvious. But to everyone else, it's pretty damn clear what you have to do. So, as you dig into your past and try to learn from it, both in terms of the positives and the negatives, that gives you a lot of power to design a better future. So you can decide, okay, maybe I should spend less time with those people and more time with those people. Maybe I should do more of those activities and I should avoid those other activities, right? And that in itself will help you to design a better year and to accomplish the goals that you really want. Okay, so now that you know the 5 biggest mistakes you have to avoid, let me share with you my process for setting and accomplishing goals. By the way, the second part is something that a lot of people forget about, right? A lot of people just focus on setting goals, but they don't really pay attention to actually accomplishing their goals. Okay, so with goal setting and goal accomplishing, what you gotta do is you wanna start with the end in mind. So rather than going from A to B to C to D, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, so what is my ultimate vision? What is the ideal picture of my future life, right? You want to start with a ground vision. Why? Well, because when you have that ideal end in mind, it is going to serve as the northern star guiding your behavior, right? If you know that you want to go that direction, at least now you can figure out how to get there. But if you don't have a vision, well, you don't even know which direction you are going. You may be working very hard, but what if you've been working so hard going the wrong way? And listen, I used to work for Goldman Sachs, and at some point I realized, hold on a second, like, what am I doing here, right? I'm going that direction, and my ultimate vision is over there. I mean, I could be working extremely hard, but I'm still going away from my vision. And rather than one day waking up at the age of 50 or 60 realizing, wow, like I literally wasted my life doing something I wasn't meant to do, I have to snap out and I have to figure out, okay, so where exactly do I want to be in the future? Okay, I'm going there and I want to be there. I suppose there's some things I have to change about my life. So I figured out my vision. I realized it's over there. And then based on that grand vision, I started setting up long-term goals, right? And then once you have those long-term goals, you look at them and you ask yourself, okay, so these are my long-term goals. What do I have to do in short term to get there? So then you use your long-term goals in order to set up your short-term goals. And then as you're looking at all of this, now you can ask yourself a question, okay, so on the micro scale, what are the things I have to do on a daily basis? And what are the habits I have to destroy on a daily basis? You see how it works? You look at the end. You start with the end in mind, then you come back into the present and you ask yourself, literally, what do I have to do on a daily basis to get closer to that vision? And that's how you figure out exactly what habits you have to break and what new positive habits you have to develop. This is how it works, right? And then it's literally just up to you to overcome procrastination. By the way, if you want to learn about it, I have other videos about this topic, and just making things happen every single day, going after it and recalibrating constantly so you eventually get to where you want to get. And by the way, when you start with that end in mind, with that ideal vision, so you know that you're going the right direction, you are way more likely to enjoy the process as well. Because yes, it may sound like a cliche, but it is not about the goals themselves. It is about the journey. But the journey is created by the right direction. So some of those goals you have, you may not accomplish, or you may change some of those goals, right? Today, you may think that one of your goals is to have a $10 million crypto portfolio. But then somewhere along the way, maybe you get married and you have kids and you realize, you know what? I don't need 10 million, right? I need less. However, I want to have this amazing house with a farm and a bunch of animals running around, whatever it is, right? Everyone is different. The point is your goals may change along the way, but if you base your long-term goals, your short-term goals, and then your habits on your vision, at least you know you are going the right direction. And yeah, sure, you may adjust a little bit, but the general direction is correct, right? You're not shooting yourself in the foot. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was Jimmy Naraine. I have a lot of other videos on this channel. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on the fresh content. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. By the way, post a comment. If you feel like someone in your life should see this video, just tag them, or share the link with them. Spread the message. I made those videos on YouTube to help as many people as possible. So once again, thank you for your time, and I will see you soon.